This is Garry Newman, the man who started off as just a code-knowledgeable teenager with the dream of being a massive game developer. In his early stages of development, there were many games he worked toward releasing, some getting to see the light of day in previews or demos, and some only having been mentioned once or twice on the entire internet. All of which, though, never saw an official release up until the one which was least expected to get one actually did. I am, of course, talking about Garry's Mod. Originally created solely to be a Half-Life 2 modification on Valve's Source Engine 1, through enjoyable and natural progression in development, Garry's Mod became its own game, being published by Valve themselves in late 2006. Gmod has since accumulated thousands of players, holds more concurrent players today than it ever did back towards release, and has alone provided Garry with millions and millions of dollars through purchases. He didn't just stop there though. He then founded and incorporated his company consisting of few developers at the time, Facepunch, and sent them off on their next big venture toward the shift into the 2010s. Although, once again, this venture would not originally set out to be what it eventually ended up being. It started out as just a DayZ clone, which over time received more survival type elements that DayZ didn't have, leading it to evolve into the absolute classic and one of my favorite standalone games of all time, Rust. Rust grew to be even bigger than Garry's Mod ever could've and ever has been, still persisting in the top 10 on the Steam charts to this day and receiving copious amounts of developer support with consistent monthly updates. Both titles have not only contributed to Garry's personal net worth, but the entire company of Facepunch's overall funding. So, with all this wealth accumulated and the last major release having been back all the way in 2013, a lot of fans, including myself, are left questioning, what is the next major step for Facepunch? And will a major step even come, or will their peak just remain to be Rust? I mentioned Valve's Source Engine and how Garry's Mod was built from the ground up upon it, but what is it, and why is it so important in this discussion? Valve is the company that created the Steam Marketplace, a place where all PC gamers go to buy a wide array of games. Included in that wide array are a good sum of first-party games developed by Valve themselves inside their own custom game engine, a system you make and run games in, Source. It has now been around 20 years since Source began hosting all their titles, and it is beginning to look severely outdated. Due to this realization, in the past decade, they have started to roll out Source Engine 2, a more updated, polished, beautiful-looking engine into all of their titles one by one. Although Source has hosted all of Valve's games to this point, it is not limited to hosting them. Hence why Garry used it for the original Gmod and why he is back to use the second one with this brand new release. Let me introduce you to Garry's Mod 2. Well, kind of. What you are seeing upon you is not Gmod 2. The Sausage Man probably gave it away. But every trait is there if you would like to describe it as that. It is a sandbox type of game, just like Minecraft, Terraria, and of course, Gmod, in the sense that assets can be provided for you to work with and just throw into a world. But it's not just a sandbox, even though the name might make you think otherwise. Oh, by the way, the real name of the game is Sandbox. This game extends far further than just being what Garry's Mod was with improved graphics only. Unlike some. There is a very popular concept going around right now that has been around for some time with games like Roblox, but is only now becoming more accessible at a wider scale to all. And that is pre-existing games giving the player base the opportunity to develop their own products completely inside the game through their own provided platform, which is linked to a game development engine. Just like Fortnite has started to do with their Creative 2.0 platform directly being linked to Unreal Engine. Just like Roblox is beginning to double down more on by revamping their own engine for people to have a chance to create something like this masterpiece in. And just like how Sandbox is doing and going to continue to do with its link to Source Engine 2. That is the main difference that shows why this is not just a mere sequel to Gmod, offering only a certain amount of assets to work with and a certain amount of game modes and camera angles to work around. With the access to Source, you can not only make a game mode and host it, not only make a small indie game and release it if you'd like, but even make an entire massive game from the ground up so large that it could rival a AAA title, and get paid per player for all of them through the payment plan that is going to be set in place by Facepunch. There is no boundaries here, nothing holding you back. Precisely the only limit is what your mind can come up with. As I said, this isn't a new concept whatsoever, but there are great reasons I believe so heavily in it. First, it isn't Fortnite or Roblox. Creative 2.0 is amazing, the Roblox engine is amazing, but the majority of the population will never know that. Because so many people are turned away from those games because they are themselves. So many people quit Fortnite in general because of the main game modes and their issues and won't come back because of those faults, no matter what they are missing out on. And Roblox is just severely unattractive to the wide majority as well because this game fills the void, fills the gap. It appeals to everyone because you can change literally everything. You don't like being restricted to cars or other vehicles in something like Fortnite. Here's a unicycle. You don't want a unicycle, make your own model, texture it, and function it all yourself. I mean, hey, even if you don't want to play s&box, there's TF2. In s&box, s&box isn't a game. s&box is games. Unlimited games, but no game. And is the most promising release that has come in recent years and will take the industry by storm. The other reason I believe that as well is because of exactly who makes it. Facepunch. The amount of time, dedication, and money they dump into each game they create, from start to present, is just mind-blowing. I trust this company more than I trust pretty much every other company besides PlayStation Studios or Insomniac, just simply due to the fact that they will make this game good. There is no might. They will work tirelessly to provide the best product, and once that product is to a certain standard, they will support it with updates and fixes until they can't possibly anymore. Games like Gmod and Rust did not do well upon release, and in many ways look completely different than they did back when they came out. But look at them now. Wow. Undeniable classics. And I truly believe s&box will be added to that bunch and may even end up being bigger and better than them all. The game is currently in early access with a slated release date of 2023 at an unknown price point as of now. Will you be picking it up, or will you turn a blind eye to a masterpiece in the making?